Okay, so because in the comments of everything, I think people are getting confused about some of the stuff I was talking about. So I'm going to show examples of two different kind of like buggy interactions in the games that I was talking about while I was comparing it to the Street Fighter Five, Street Fighter Six Drive Rush. Is that what it's called? I've already fucking forgot. Okay, so there was the Capcom Fighting Jam thing that I was talking about. This was the example I could find of it. Presented by Obot. If you recall, even the Kim Infinite video, because Obot actually used to live. Obot lived like an hour away from me, so we didn't play a lot. But Obot, when I would tell him bugs, sometimes he would upload stuff, and I remember people ended up calling this the guy. They ended up calling the guy Jubble Bug because he spelled it wrong. So it became known as the guy Jubble Bug in the game. Also, history fact that people not remember, the biggest tournament that I think America ever had for Capcom Fighting Jam, I got third at. Third at while on disability. I've talked about that tournament. It was super fucked up. I got third at that tournament. I think that was the biggest Capcom Fighting Jam tournament that America ever had because the game ended up dying within a year. But we don't need to hear the music. So you see, normally Guy can't juggle after all this stuff, right? But there was a bug, and this was what I showed, and I told him how to do this, and I was like, just put it like this, make it sneaky. You know what I mean? Don't show people how you did it until you know what I mean. I wanted it to be a little bit secret, but what it was that although the game tells you that after a guy hits his down forward roundhouse to forward roundhouse, you can combo after it. It was actually there is a invisible time limit occurs instantly happens when you hit that move. So, you know, you have so long that you can continue to juggle the guy actually with anything. And then the other example that I was trying to talk about, which I talked about in the video in the descriptions, hopefully it's showing, is I was talking about so again, when I talk about being able to predict the ways that games work, analyze games. Although the caveat of this is I haven't watched a lot of Street Fighter 6. What I was trying to tell you guys is this is just my if Capcom told me I can test Street Fighter 6 for a day, which I guess they've actually played the game before, but they gave them the day to play it. Instantly, if Capcom's like, well, Drive Rush does this is what I would have tried within 5 seconds, this kind of stuff, because we have precedents of games working like this before. So we're talking about the drive rush. If you drive rush, you know what I mean? It makes your next attack do more stun. But what I was asking is it actually the attack does more stun, just your next attack? Or is it a time limit, like we've seen in Capcom Fighting Jam? Or is it possible, if it's only your next singular move does more stun, are there bugs potentially like Tekken vs Street Fighter, which I talked about this when this game first came out, a bug in the game, which I don't even know if anyone else ever even ended up showing it off. Like, I mean, this video got like, I don't know, it got like 6,000 views. It didn't get too many because this was, back during the day, or people still say that I fake videos when I make it and I cheat, but people didn't want to share my videos. I was cheating to do it fake, and of course, Tekken vs Street Fighter died pretty quickly too. So I don't know if anyone even actually bothered to fiddle with this stuff after I was showing it all off. But Tekken vs Street Fighter, you generally had this idea that you could juggle the guy with 4 hits, or you know what I mean, 4 moves, whatever. It was a very, very kind of boring system, but that game had something where if you had you can juggle the guy with the hit of a move. But if the move was 2 hits and you cancel the first hit of the move into something else, the game does not count you as actually having used one of your juggle hits, right? So if we look at this, right? Now, obviously, you can tell that was way more than just juggling with 4 attacks, right? Do you know what I mean? So the thing was, if you juggle with Akuma's stand hard kick, because it's 2 hits, and then you cancel before it does the second hit into something else, the game thinks that you have not juggled with anything, even though you have. So what I was getting at in this video, again, this wasn't me over analyzing the game because I was kind of just haphazardly listening to it and hearing what they're saying. I was just like, if I would have been playing, these would have been the things instantly I would have seen, because we know these are actually Capcom developed games that have these kind of bugs. So that's why I was talking about, say we have Ryu's kind of, he charges up and then he like electrocutes you, whatever, but it's normally too slow to combo, whatever like that. We know Ryu has his axe kick, whatever. So again, the two thoughts, right? We have the Capcom fighting jam bug, but if it's only literally just the first hit, we know that Ryu's overhead is 2 hits, right? So it obviously encompasses the whole move, even though it is multi-hitting. So based on bugs in past Capcom games, right, I would say go into the drive rush system, whatever, do an attack that is multiple hits that you can cancel, like Ryu's axe kick in the game, right? We know Ryu has an axe kick. If you cancel the first hit of Ryu's axe kick, and then maybe we go into that electric palm strike move that he has, if we then link after that, does the next hit still do more stun? Because does the game think that technically we have not used our one free move of more stun? Does that make sense? So potentially, drive rush, combo into it. The move now combos, because it's doing more stun, it allows you to combo into the electric palm strike, whatever the fuck thing he's doing. But because the move was 2 hits and you canceled too early, the game, we have seen there are precedents that the game bugs out, like Tekken vs Street Fighter. So does it think that you technically have not used this move yet, so you can still keep using it? Did you get what I'm getting at? And that's what I was getting at too. We talk about these, no one did any of these jump situations from the drive rush. So if we do an anti-air with Ryu, drive rush to jump, we know Ryu has a jump strong that hits twice. Well, at certain distances, we might be able to hit the jump strong, so it only hits once. It does not hit the second hit. So therefore, because it is not technically fulfilled, maybe we can then continue to juggle the guy with free hits, right? I mean, that's why I always said Dragon Ball FighterZ was a very, it was boring to look at all the footage when I predicted how that game was going to work, but it was not difficult, because I've already played so many video games before. I just needed to see the property of a move and be like, okay, if we know that property works like this, we already know how past games work. And that's why I was able to lay out exactly how the whole game was going to work for Dragon Ball FighterZ. It was boring, do you know what I mean? Because I had to watch all these scrubs play, so to speak. Scrubs, right? Quotation marks. But that's why I always say when a game is brand new, everything is of value. Even the person that is a scrub, still, when a game is brand new, who is really the expert player, right? Everything is of value. So when you watch the quotation mark scrubs play, I got to see them press all the buttons. They were mashing buttons in all sorts of situations. So I was able to look at the footage and I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to know for proof that this is how this game works. And that's why I was posting like, dude, you guys can just try this. I'm 100% sure this works. I had the idea that it might work based on past games, and just look at these people playing. They're proving it works like this. Just do it. But people are like, no. They just didn't want to believe. So, but, and of course I would like to see, do target combos count as one move? That's another thing, little theories I have on the game that, give me a little bit more to look at, test something, and then we can put the pieces together to show that this could be possible. But again, for the time being, this is just a theory, okay? But it is a theory that is very obvious that I would have tested within a few seconds, because the precedent is that it's how it works in other games. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. 2% female viewership. Suck the titties. The end.